The snow fell in thick, relentless curtains that evening, wrapping the city in a veil of white. Streetlights glowed with soft halos against the darkness, 2 days before Christmas. A sudden blizzard had caught everyone off guard, blanketing the streets in several inches of fresh powder. Wind whipped the flakes into dizzying swirls, reducing visibility to mere feet. Marcus Callahan stepped out of his office building and into the storm, pulling his dark overcoat tighter around his tailored suit. At 36, with carefully styled dark hair and the bearing of a man who commanded success, Marcus led Callahan Industries, the technology firm his father had founded and that he had grown into a multi-million-dollar powerhouse. He thrived on control, planning meticulously, anticipating every variable, and solving problems with precision. But no forecast had prepared him for this. His driver had called earlier to warn that the roads were becoming impassable. Rather than wait, Marcus chose to walk the 8 blocks to his downtown apartment. He knew these streets from childhood. A little snow wouldn't stop him. He passed the Range Rover parked at the curb, left behind by one of his executives who had taken a taxi home, and continued down the empty road. Most businesses had closed early. The city felt eerily abandoned, its usual hum silenced by the wind. He had walked only 2 blocks when he noticed her, a small shape huddled on the snow-dusted stone steps of an old brownstone. At first, Marcus thought it was discarded clothing or bags. Then the shape shifted, and his heart clenched. It was a child, a little girl, no more than 4 or 5 years old. She wore a thin pink coat unsuitable for the weather, and her blonde hair, pulled into a loosening braid, framed a face far too solemn for her age. Her small feet in worn gray shoes dangled above the ground as she stared straight ahead. Marcus stopped, his mind racing to process the scene. A child alone in a blizzard? He approached slowly, careful not to startle her. "Hello," he called gently over the wind. "Are you all right?" The girl turned, her cheeks flushed red from the cold, eyes bright with unshed tears. She didn't seem afraid. Instead, she studied him with unnerving intensity. "Are you Marcus Callahan?" she asked, her small voice clear despite the storm. Marcus's heart skipped. "Yes, I am. How do you know my name?" "My mom showed me your picture," she replied. "She said if I saw you, I should tell you we need help. She said you're the only one who can help us." Marcus crouched down to her eye level, snow soaking through the knees of his trousers. "Where is your mother, sweetheart?" The girl's lip trembled. "She's at home. She's sick. She sent me to find you because she knew you'd be leaving your building around now. She said you always leave at 6:30 on Wednesdays." A chill unrelated to the weather ran down Marcus's spine. "How does your mother know my schedule?" "She used to work there," the girl said simply, "before she got sick." Marcus employed nearly 300 people in that building. Without more details, he couldn't place her. "What's your name?" "Lily," she answered. "Lily Foster." The surname tugged at a distant memory. "And your mother's name?" "Amanda Foster," Lily said. "She was your secretary before Miss Helen." Recognition clicked. Amanda Foster had been his executive assistant 3 years earlier. Quiet, efficient, and professional. She had resigned suddenly with 2 weeks' notice, citing family obligations and a need to relocate. Marcus had been sorry to lose her, but had respected her decision. "I remember your mother," he said carefully. "But Lily, why did she send you out in this storm? Why not just call?" Tears spilled down Lily's reddened cheeks. "Because she's too proud to ask for help on the phone. She needed to see you in person, but she's too sick to leave the apartment. She said she was sorry for asking, but we don't have anyone else." Marcus felt something crack inside his chest. Whatever this was, it had to be dire for Amanda to send her young daughter into a blizzard. "Where do you live?" he asked. 4 blocks that way," Lily pointed. "Mom said you'd walk right by our building." Marcus made his decision instantly. "Can you take me to her?" Lily nodded and stood, wobbling slightly on legs stiff from the cold. Marcus removed his overcoat and wrapped it around her tiny frame. It swallowed her completely, but it offered warmth. He offered his hand. "Come on, let's go see your mom." Her small, mittened hand slipped trustingly into his. They walked together, Marcus matching her shorter strides as the wind howled around them. He marveled at the courage it must have taken for this child to venture out alone. The building Lily led him to was old and weathered, in a neighborhood past its prime. The entrance door stuck, and they climbed 3 flights of narrow, damp-smelling stairs. At apartment 3C, Lily knocked in a familiar pattern. 3 quick raps, 2 slower ones. "It's me, Mama. I found him." The door opened immediately. Amanda Foster stood there, leaning heavily on the frame. Marcus barely recognized her. The capable woman he remembered was now painfully thin, her face gaunt and pale, her strength clearly fading. Yet her intelligent eyes still burned with determination, filling with tears at the sight of him and her daughter. "Mr. Callahan," she whispered. "You came. I told Lily you would, but I wasn't sure." "Amanda," Marcus said, shock evident in his voice. "What's happened to you?" She offered a sad smile. "Please, come in." The apartment was small, clean, and sparse, with walls that needed fresh paint. A modest Christmas tree stood in the corner, adorned with handmade ornaments and twinkling lights. Evidence of love filled the space. Children's drawings on the fridge, a worn teddy bear on the threadbare couch. Amanda moved slowly to sit down, Lily instantly at her side. "I'm sorry to drag you here like this," Amanda began. "It must seem crazy, but I don't have much of it left." Over the next half hour, her story unfolded, heartbreaking in its simplicity. Shortly after leaving Callahan Industries, Amanda had been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. She had resigned to focus on treatment and spend every possible moment with Lily. With no living parents and Lily's father absent from the picture, she had fought alone for 3 years. Now, doctors gave her perhaps 6 months. "My biggest fear isn't dying," she said quietly. "It's leaving Lily alone. The state will place her in foster care. She deserves more than that." Marcus listened, throat tight. "Why me? Why send Lily to find me?" Amanda met his gaze with unwavering strength. "I worked for you for 2 years, Mr. Callahan. I saw the man you are, how you treat people with respect and compassion. I know you lost your wife 5 years ago. You don't have children. I thought, maybe you might consider taking care of Lily when I'm gone." The request struck Marcus like a blow. Adopt a child he had just met? Upend his carefully ordered life? Amanda continued, tears flowing. "When I imagine who should raise my daughter, teach her, guide her, I think of you." Lily, who had remained quiet, spoke softly. "I'd be good. I promise I wouldn't be any trouble." Marcus looked at the brave little girl, then at her dying mother. He thought of his empty apartment, the grief he had buried in work since Sarah's death, and the family they had once dreamed of. His world shifted. He asked Lily gentle questions about her dreams of becoming a teacher, her love of drawing and stories like Charlotte's Web. Each answer tugged at his heart. "I'll do it," he said finally. "I can't promise perfection. I know nothing about raising a child, but I promise I'll do my best. Lily will be loved and cared for." Amanda broke down in relieved sobs, Lily's face lit with a tentative smile. She climbed onto Marcus's lap, wrapped her arms around his neck, and whispered, "Thank you." In that moment, Marcus's tears fell freely. The next 6 months transformed Marcus's life. He arranged for Amanda and Lily to move into his spacious apartment near better medical care. Lawyers fast-tracked the adoption. He learned bedtime routines, how to braid hair, and the importance of animal-shaped pancakes. He sat with Amanda, absorbing stories of Lily's life, watching videos, and reviewing photos to preserve memories. Amanda passed peacefully on a quiet Tuesday morning in May, with Marcus and Lily by her side. Her final words brought peace, gratitude to Marcus, and love for her daughter. The funeral was intimate. 2 weeks later, the adoption finalized. Lily Foster became Lily Callahan. Marcus hung the certificate in his office beside his wedding photo with Sarah. Life changed profoundly. Board meetings shifted around school schedules. His once quiet home filled with toys, laughter, and the beautiful chaos of childhood. Marcus discovered patience and joy in simple moments. Breakfasts together, bedtime stories, and watching Lily's face brighten with new discoveries. 5 years later, Marcus stood in the audience at Lily's elementary school winter concert. Now in 4th grade, she had grown taller, her blonde hair in a self-chosen bob, glasses perched on her nose. She waved at him from the stage. He waved back, heart overflowing. Walking home afterward, Lily slipped her hand into his. "Dad," she said, the word that still filled him with gratitude. "Do you ever think about that night in the blizzard?" "All the time," he replied. "I was so scared," she admitted. "But Mom knew you'd help. She said you had a good heart." She was right. "Your mother was remarkable," Marcus said, voice thick. "She gave me the greatest gift, you." "I think it was a gift for both of us," Lily replied with quiet wisdom. "Mom gave us each other." Years later, as a grown woman pursuing her dream of teaching, Lily would share the story of a snowy night, a mother's courage, and a stranger's kindness that forged an unbreakable family. Marcus, in his 50s, would watch his daughter with pride, forever grateful for the blizzard that brought them together. In the end, Amanda Foster had taught them the deepest truth. Love turns strangers into family, endings into beginnings, and even the darkest storms can lead us home. Marcus had said yes to a desperate request, and in doing so, saved not only Lily, but himself.